are, the State of the City address. But here we go. I'm going to give you just a few highlights of the city business. Obviously, the police department has been the area of greatest attention in the first 15 days of my time in office, and we're working currently to kind of give you an update. We're working with the League of Cities to finalize the formal plan for the hiring of a permanent police chief. They have a group there that works strictly with law enforcement agencies, and I'm going to be relying heavily on them to help us with that process. And what that process looks like is still evolving. They have done this before, and the point that they continually have stressed with me in our early meetings was, do not rush that process. So we will, if at all possible, take their advice there. I feel extremely comfortable and confident with Interim Chief James Duff and the job that he's doing there. So I think that's going to allow us the time that we need to work through that process. He's conducting a comprehensive audit of that department with the help of 2 other outside law enforcement agencies to ensure that we can begin this term with full accountability. The chief is rebuilding relationships with the media in an attempt to provide transparency, which is one of his objectives. I met with all of the police officers across all 3 shifts, I believe it was last Friday, and their morale was quite impressive. They've been beat down in the recent days, as I'm sure most of you know, and I would appeal to you today to encourage them when you see them out and in the neighborhoods as they strive to rebuild your trust, because that is their objective. The fire department, funding for the 3rd fire station, as it has been called, is in process. There is a no-interest loan that is offered through the USDA that Farmers Rural Electric is facilitating for us. The plan for that station is to be located on a lot that has been donated to us by Felker Brothers on the corner of Beaver Trail and the Outer Loop. Earlier this year, the city received a Class 2 ranking from the Insurance Services Organization. That's the group that audits fire protection services throughout the country, and they gave us a Class 2 rating, moving us up from a Class 3 rating, and that puts us in the top 1 percentile in the nation as far as our fire protection services are concerned. So they've done a tremendous job there, and we applaud them, the water company and 911, for the services that they provide us. The Glasgow Municipal Cemetery. I bet that in recent years, Paul Bragg and his group have not been a topic of the State of the City address, but I had a personal experience with those people a few weeks ago, and I want to tell you that there is no way that you will get any better service or attention from a group of cemetery employees anywhere. Thank you, Paul, and your group for the work that you do. He tells me that there's approximately 40 more years of service available in that site there, so we should all have time to get our orders in. The Plaza Theater. I recently received an all-access tour of the Plaza Theater, and I tell you that if you have not done that, you ought to do it, because that place is truly a jewel. The programs there are expanding, and the bottom line is improving each and every year. The city's portion, or their contribution to that facility, has decreased each and every day, and that's a testament to the work that they are doing there. If you missed Dr. Walton Shirley hammering it in those white go-go boots at the Woodstock event, you owe yourself for not seeing that one. Jennifer and the board are in a fundraising mode at the moment in an attempt to remodel what they're calling the Casablanca room, which is a room upstairs that will be used for special events. So I would encourage you again to go and take that tour. Jennifer would love to show you around. She'll put you to work as a volunteer and also ask you for a donation while you're there. So get by there if you have the opportunity. The Parks and Rec Department, Eddie Furlong and his group, Eddie heads that group, they received an award from the Kentucky Recreation and Park Society this last year where they were named the Outstanding Department, Class 2. For pretty special deal, seeing as that group only gives 2 such awards each year. And then Eddie himself was named the Professional of the Year from that same society. So we're proud of him and the efforts that he has brought about in the last 12 months. One of the big undertakings of the Parks and Rec crew is the ball tournaments that they put on each summer. Last year, they had 13 of those tournaments in our parks, and this year they already have scheduled 18 for those parks. So keep your fingers crossed that we have some good weekend weather. And congratulations to Eddie and his department for those final awards. I thought I was going to get to go first, so I was thinking that you might still be awake at this point in the speech, but that's quite all right. You get into some more technical stuff here with the water company and the EPB. I want to give you just a little bit of information about them. I know they don't get in front of this group and provide information about what they've got going on, so I want to give you just a little bit about them. The big reason for that is they both have some huge plans for the coming 12 months. And let's just say I don't think that you will hear those otherwise, but I would greatly appreciate if you all would be advocates for them in the community in the coming days. The water company distributes 2.8 billion gallons of water in a year's time. They maintain 883 miles of water pipe and another 148 miles of sewer pipe. And if you think about that, it's only 750 miles to Dallas, Texas. And they maintain over 883 miles of water line. So a tremendous feat for that group. They recently received the Wooden Bucket Award, and before you laugh at that, that actually is the highest award given by the Kentucky Rural Water Association. So that's a pretty big deal for that group. They are very proud of that. And then also to give you a little bit more confidence in those guys and girls, they received state recognition for the quality of the water, and that they were recognized for providing water that is 3 times above the goal that was set by the State Water Board or the State Division of Water. And they've done that for 6 years in a row. So we get some pretty outstanding water. No need for those bottles. You can quit contributing to the landfill, go right back to the tap. They currently have over $11 million worth of projects underway. So you can imagine how good the water's going to be when they get done with those $11 million worth of projects. Just to give you a few more numbers, Melinda Overstreet has interviewed me 71 times and printed my picture 36 times. 15 days. Michael's already left. That's fine. I just wanted, if y'all can help me with this, I'll start rumors every day about Michael Hale to see if I can get Melinda to cross the street and go to his office. Billy Ray has actually helped give me a little bit of relief with the media the last few weeks as he's been in negotiations with cable programmers, and I appreciate that help. But he has been able to make deals with the programmers. You've seen that in the newspaper, I'm sure, in the last few days. Those negotiations and deals have allowed or will allow the people of Glasgow to continue to enjoy the lowest cost cable television services in the United States. By us owning our own broadband network and cable television services, we will again save over $2.5 million when compared with the rates of those in neighboring counties that do not own that infrastructure. If you've looked at their homepage, you will have undoubtedly noticed their efforts to focus us on peak demand periods. You might think that they're getting all wadded up about nothing, but that will have a large effect on all EPB customers in this next year. Customers will actually pay for it. Crazy idea, but you will actually pay more for electricity during those peak demand periods because it costs more during those peak demand periods. So it's going to be something that we will all want to pay attention to in the coming days, and they will send out alerts and things like that to notify you so that you can make adjustments. The EPB has also built quite a reputation within the industry for their willingness to participate in and their ability to conduct research projects with new technologies, in our homes and in our businesses. And that reputation has facilitated their application for some large-scale projects that are up and coming, hopefully. So keep your fingers crossed and let's stay tuned. The idea board, and we're closing in on the end here. The idea board, you may have seen in the newspaper in the recent days, Judge Hale and I have been to Frankfurt, and we met with the economic development group there, and I believe that trip was quite beneficial. As I said the other day in the newspaper, it was quite amazing to see 15, 16, 17 of those high-level people in a room simply to meet with Glasgow and Barron County representatives, and we were very appreciative to Dan Iacone and the work that he does here. Dan is a lot like Waldo. Good luck finding him in any of those pictures or seeing him out front of any of those activities. But let me tell you, he does a tremendous job for Glasgow and Barron County. A few weeks ago actually, WKU hosted a workforce development summit. Dr. Ransdell and Sally Ray put that together, and they brought in local existing businesses to meet with the educational institutions of our area to try and design programs, hear needs, and make adjustments to their programs so that we can fit industry needs with the education that our future workforces are getting at the time, and making adjustments to those so that we're sure that we have the workforce that's needed to meet those needs. John Bevington was here. He's actually the deputy commissioner. Again, a pretty big stick. We're tickled to have him here. We're also excited that he knows who Glasgow and Barron County are. So, skip on down as quick as I can. Currently, we are a work-ready community in process. I don't know if you've seen those signs. We're working, and a lot of that is work through the educational institutions again to get us to the designation so that in process falls off, and we are a work-ready community. Those efforts are taking place, and again, some of the things that you don't see that Dan and the IDEA group are working on, we appreciate that, because that is a significant designation for us. The street department and the landfill, the last thing I've got on the list, the methane generator project, if you've seen that, if you remember, that is where we take methane gas that is naturally generated, collect that, run it through a generator, and generate electricity, and sell that back to Eastern Kentucky Power. And that process, or that project, is progressing well. We should see electricity and checks back to the city from that sometime this year. The first leg of the bicycle trail that is planned to make a loop around the city with spokes, if you will, back to the downtown to enhance the ability to walk or bike in and around Glasgow and back into downtown, is underway. That has been approved. We're in the design phase of that. Process, and construction should begin with us contributing labor from the street department in the coming days. So, with that, I would close with fill her up with unleaded. Thank you. Have a good day.